BSing with
Who?
BSing with
What?
BSing with Sean K. BSing with
Who?
BSing with
What?
BSing with Sean K. BSing with
Who?
BSing with
What?
BSing with Sean K. BSing with.
All right, so this is BSing with Sean K. I'm your host, Sean Kneese, and the K is silent. And on this show, I talk with people pursuing their creative and intellectual passions. And today I have Danette. She's a toy collector, right? That's your passion you're pursuing. And I know I have a lot of artists and other things like that on here, but this is you're the first toy collector I've had. So, well,
Yeah, and the funny thing is I do art as well, so
oh, nice. Oh, I guess you have that on another account than the one I saw.
yeah, I kind of like sometimes I will put more on this specific account you found me on, but that is an actual other hobby of mine besides toy collecting. So I kind of just do whatever, a bunch of it creative stuff and Halloween, literally everything.
Nice. So I guess we'll start with the toy collecting, and then we'll get into the art. So what could you say about what you do? I guess.
Well, actually, my toys are just stuff I've had since I was a kid. And there's some that, when you were a child, you let go a lot of it, a large portion of it. But there's a large portion of it I decided I just didn't want to get rid of. And it was they kind of sat in limbo for a while because you hit that stage when you're like 18, 20, and you don't want anyone to know you have toys. So I was like, okay, I'll keep it on the low. And then the older you get and the more you just don't care what anyone thinks, they grew. They came to another stage where it started to grow and grow and grow more, because I was like, all right, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Like, who cares? So I'm just going to keep collecting and collecting. So
and
old and new.
Nice. And so what do you have in your collection? I mean, we can't see the visual on the audio version, but we can.
Yeah, you can see some things, like you can see here's Knuckles, but you can see kind of here I have like Simpsons, and above that is like pop toys. On the top shelf is all Beatles Yellow Submarine, and I bought those like when they first came out. Oh god, what was that, like 2003, 2002? So they had like this whole collection. I bought them there. I'm also a big fan of plush, so I have a ton of plush toys, which like you can't see from here. Huge Jurassic Park fan. Collect a ton of Jurassic Park. A lot that I have had since I was a kid, and more that I bought like more within the past like few recent years. Mystery Science Theater, big Mystery Science Theater fan. And Crow and Tom that I built myself. And oh god, let's just see, tons of Smurfs. Here's like a Smurf glass I'm drinking out of. Ninja Turtles, everything, you name it. It's just like I only collect things that I personally like myself instead of like just random stuff. So I guess my biggest. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, first continue what we're saying. Your biggest what?
Oh, my biggest would be definitely Jurassic Park, then The Simpsons. God, I think those are the two big ones, and then everything else is kind of miscellaneous, like Gargoyles, Rick and Morty, and everything in between.
So I guess it's more like the shows you grew up with, you kind of put in the collection.
Yes, for sure. It's all stuff that I grew up that I actually liked. There's let's see, because I actually grew up on the movie The Yellow Submarine, so that would be the other big one. So instead of I watched a lot of Disney, but my main movie growing up was The Yellow Submarine, and I watched that like every day.
So is there? Do you find other people with this hobby? Is there like a community for toy collectors?
Have just within Instagram. It's when you're tagging things and this and that, you become friends with other people and they share their interests. None of my friends personally collect toys. They actually make fun of me all the time for the amount of stuff that I have. So and they're probably going to get mad at me more and more for more stuff I'm continuing to collect. But it's just all Instagram people that I meet, and I've actually become pretty good friends with a few based on this interest.
And you also do art, I guess. So
Yes.
is that what is that? Or do you draw like, is it like cartoons, or what kind of art do you do as well?
More in cartooning. I really do enjoy cartooning. I do some commission like love to watercolor. Another random thing I do is people will commission me to watercolor a picture of their car. I'll because people love their cars when you have a specific one. I'm sure maybe not your Toyota Corolla, but we have your vintage cars, and people will commission me to watercolor those for them. And I do it more as a hobby. I did go to fashion school. I actually made that blue hanging right there in the back from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I don't know if you see that little blue guy.
It's a blue car. Well, there's an audio and a video version. So it's like, if they're watching it, they could see it, but if they're listening,
oh, okay, sorry. So this, I did blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I actually made this in college.
Oh, nice.
So I can do sewing. I do a lot for Halloween. My Halloween costumes are a mix of making part of it myself and buying some of it, but I go really hard into Halloween as far as the creative direction goes there too. So, but it's not anything I pursue like professionally.
So it's kind of mixed media, I guess, like throwing things together. Nice.
For sure.
So you kind of make your own toys in a way, then you add them to the collection.
Well, the funny thing now is I actually work in the toy industry. I used to be in the fashion industry for like 10 years, 10, 11 years. But I've always wanted to be in the toy industry. And it just so happened I fell into it. So now I work for a plush company, but I do actually more on the production side and like logistics and sourcing. I actually don't do any of the art for them, but it's still fun to work with them.
Did you fall into it through just collecting toys and being interested in that, or?
Well, actually, I used to work for Urban Outfitters in like the headquarters, and I ended up sitting next to this girl whose sister worked for the company I worked for, and just kind of like fell into that way, seeing like she saw what I did. It was the position open for what I do. I did there, opened at the new company. And so I was able to, I interviewed for them, and now I work for them, and now I'm back in New York. I don't know. I just, with the toy page you found me on, I just actually created that pretty recently. I guess because over the years I just had so many toys, I was like, I might as well do something with this or show it off. So I decided to start a page. I don't really know like how far, like that's more of a hobby as well. It's not like, I'm not trying to like make anything big of it. If it goes that way, great. But if not, it's just, I figure I should do something instead of them sitting in my room. And then obviously it's COVID, I'm bored. So I decided to make a page out of it. So, I mean, COVID's been another, I guess, a cool thing with the costumes that comes along, because I'm also a big Mortal Kombat fan. And, well, that new movie that came out, which I've been waiting for a new movie for decades now, since the first one. Not Annihilation. That movie was pure trash. Since, like, the 1995 one. And I have done 2 characters from that movie. So, Melina is my favorite, which I wore that costume to the theater. And, then, which is perfect because it has a mask, so that works out.
Nice.
And I've done Sindel as well, so I'm probably going to do more with that as well. But I think next year I actually bought a giant Master Chief costume, but that one needs full-blown editing on it. It's like made for a 6 foot, like 300-pound man, and I am not that. So I have to like cut the whole thing up to make it fit me. So that's a huge, I guess that's where my creative part comes in. It's like, how do I make something work for me? And then add those details that like these, manufacturers like don't add in to like cut costs or whatever. So I guess that's my next big project, is this Halo costume. And I wait till last minute, so I'm probably not going to start it until like September.
Oh, for Halloween every year you make your own.
Yeah. If we have a Halloween this year, I hope.
Yeah, and you also have a lot of old video game systems and things like that.
Oh
right?
yeah, I completely forgot about that. I still have, so my Sega Genesis is my original one I got in, I remember it was, I guess 1995. I feel like I got that when I was like 10 years old. I got that system. I still have all my original games plus more I've accumulated over the years. I have my Sega Saturn as well, but that gaming system came out with like 3 good games and then that was it. But I still have a few games from that. The original Xbox and now Xbox 360, and I haven't gotten any new systems since, which I need to do. I'm dying to play. I still haven't played Halo 5 and it's killing me. And I know there's like more Xboxes have been released since, so I guess I'm just waiting for the latest one, whatever that one is. And then I can get all the newer Halos if they are them, if they're out.
But you mainly have like a lot of retro kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, mostly because even I mostly have Sega Genesis games. That's still going to be my favorite gaming system of all of them, hands down. Because like I like to play video games, but I'm not any good at them. So I'll just be honest right there. And then for Xbox, I got a few other games, but the only one that really reached out to me was like the only one I really enjoy is Halo. And I do remember when when Xbox and PlayStation Xbox first came out, and it was like going against PlayStation. And I didn't know whether to get a PlayStation or an Xbox, but then Xbox came out with Toe Jam and Earl for Xbox only, so that was the winner right there. Because that's definitely one of my favorite games on Sega is Toe Jam and Earl.
Nice. Oh, so you mean for like the later PlayStation? That's what you got instead of the 360?
Xbox. The original Xbox had Toe Jam and Earl for Xbox only. So I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm getting the Xbox because I love Toe Jam and Earl. So, and this Xbox since I never played PlayStation ever in my life.
It had the Metal Gear was like my favorite exclusive of that. Metal Gear Solid and all that.
Is that PlayStation?
Yeah. I think only the recent one was on like multiple systems, but before that it was like PlayStation all throughout it. Yeah, and also the Resident Evil games, the original ones, like the 1 and 2.
Okay, yeah.
The survival horror, a lot of that.
Yes, I think I played Resident Evil once. And I was like, this game is too damn scary. And I just turned it off. I couldn't get through the hallway. I was afraid of what was going to pop out at me. I was like, no, I cannot play this game. This is horrifying. I mean, that stuff like freaked me out. But I'm trying to think. I also, when I grew up, I had the Sega. My best friend always had Nintendo. And I thought Mario was so boring. I just didn't like Mario. So I was like, I never had any interest in Nintendo because we would go over there and play.
Yeah, I remember it was like Super Mario Brothers, like 1 and 2. That was like the ones like I played a lot, or like Donkey Kong on Super Nintendo. Yeah.
It was like some of the original ones. Actually, on Nintendo, the only game I really liked was Mega Man. I really liked that one. That was my favorite Nintendo game of all of them. But I was like, no.
Wait, you just like Sonic more because he spins around. He's not just like he doesn't just like jump in pipes. I guess you found that more.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I felt like the levels on Sonic were just so much more entertaining. And like on the third, and then you had Tails to like fly you around. And then on the third one, like Sonic just got like exponentially more advanced, for the 90s. And you had like the shields and just like each one could do like all these different things. Then Knuckles came into play. So I was like, oh, this Sonic is so much more fun. I was like, why? But if you have Nintendo, you're just going to stick with Nintendo.
So Knuckles was like his, was kind of like his Diddy Kong or his Luigi.
Well, Knuckles was it? No, I think that would be Tails. Knuckles is the bad guy. Because in the third one, he came in and you had to like chase him around the levels, and which I've only ever beaten one Sonic game because I'm so bad at video games. But I don't know. Then when you were able to, it was cool on the third level before Sonic and Knuckles came out. You could see little things within the levels like you couldn't get to. And then when you played as Knuckles, all of a sudden, all these different parts of the levels opened up. So I was like, oh, see, this is so cool. Nintendo doesn't have this. Or Mario didn't have this.
I think I played a little bit of like Sega and then Sega Dreamcast when I was over like at a friend's house. But yeah, I mainly had like Super Nintendo and the like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. I think I might have played Donkey Kong like 3 times in my life. I don't know. There were some good ones that they shared. Like one of my favorite games is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
Oh no.
No? Okay, this was like one of the coolest games ever. There's like 54 levels. I don't know. I only got up to level 36. But that one I know Nintendo had too. That's just like every level is like a different monster to beat. But I'm trying to think, so like Lion King was another one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The Lion King.
Yeah.
And the Toy Story. The Toy Story one was good. The Toy Story one.
Oh,
I remember it was a lot creepier. I remember some of it was like a lot creepier than the movie. Like
yes, actually, I agree with that. Like I have that game, and there were levels, and I'm like, this is like weird. It was fun to play, but I guess like there's something about it that kind of made it haunting. I don't know what it was. It was different, but it was fun. And the Gargoyles game was like really dark, spooky, and extremely hard. I was like, I don't know if this doesn't match up with the cartoon at all. This is like, it felt like an adult level to it. It was weird, but that was still a really good game. Have that one. I'm trying to think of other good ones. Boogerman was another good.
Boogerman? What was that?
Boogerman.
Like he used his boogers and threw it at.
Yeah, he flung his boogers at you, and that would hurt the opponent. And then he would fart everywhere, and that would I was just like who made this game? But it was a good one. It was a really good game. I have that one. I still have that one too. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if that was on Nintendo though. Sega had so many good ones. And then I tried out the Sega. I never had Dreamcast, but I had Sega Saturn, which I played Tomb Raider on for hours.
Oh, wait, was there Tomb Raider that far back? The Sega Saturn was like during the time of PlayStation, right? Or was that?
Yeah, I think so. And because I have Tomb Raider for Sega Saturn, and that game was extremely creepy. But it's fun to play now because like all the animals, like everything's square.
Oh yeah.
And I remember thinking the graphics are so good as a kid, and now you're like, wow, this is straight trash.
Well,
but it still creeps me out. The game creeps me out.
Yeah, well, the original Resident Evil was scary at its time, but now it's like the dialogue's kind of like a B horror movie kind of thing. It's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I
don't know. It was just like Tomb Raider. Like every level was. I mean, you're in these faraway lands, like you're all by yourself, and everything was just like echoing, and it was dark, and it was just you could hear.
And there was a lot of puzzles and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I was just every time I played it, I was like, some bear was gonna come around the corner. I was like, I don't know, these games. I couldn't. That one was hard to play, but that was really fun.
Yeah.
I liked that.
I don't know if you played the reboot of that or.
No. There's so many new games out that I don't know anything about, because usually when I'm like, oh, I want to play some video games, I just put my Sega on. I tried games. Oh my God, one game I am so bad at is what's that? Call of Duty.
I think I played the original one like a long time ago. Yeah.
I can play Halo like left and right and whatever. Like I feel like Halo's like easier. I can't shoot shit on Call of Duty. I can't do anything. I just like, and I refuse to play online because first of all, people that play online are just brutal. There's so many trolls. I'm like, no, there's no way I would expose myself.
It's like full of annoying, like annoying loudmouth dude bro types, right? Like
and like I hear especially that they're like even harder on women. So if I'm a woman and I actually suck. Like, I would be like, if you really want to kill your self-esteem, I feel like that's where you should go. But I'm like, I'd rather not. So I'm just gonna play by myself. And even when I play with friends, I'm like, no, we're playing on the same team. I am not just gonna have you throw me off a cliff every 5 minutes because I'm so bad. So,
Yeah, I guess that's where more of the toxic kind of stuff is, like online.
yeah, I don't know. You hear the stories and this and that, and I'm like, no, no. They're like, oh, do you have Xbox Live? I'm like, I do, but I ain't getting on there. Hell about like, no fucking way, not happening.
Yeah.
But,
So I feel like I guess we could go through like your collection. You can like talk about different things in it. That might be an interesting thing.
well,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, wait, you said this is video and audio?
Yeah, well, there's a video, but then some people are just listening too. So
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I've never done this before in my life. If you can't tell already. So I guess the ones that I am most proud of, or the one I'm most proud of, is Crow from Mystery Science Theater. So Crow I built completely from scratch. And I had to like go on Etsy and eBay and Home Depot. I had to buy like the hose that's in between like the two trays that makes this like body. So I went to Home Depot and I was like, yeah, I just need like 6 inches of this. And they're like, ma'am, the minimum is 6 feet.
yeah. Well, maybe you could show them for the video people, and then I can like
Oh,
describe.
okay, yeah, let me
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, here's Crow.
Oh, that's exactly who I was picturing. Yeah, that's what I remember him from. Yeah, that was way back. They used to they'd watch movies together,
Yes.
and then they'd comment on it.
Correct, and
Yeah,
it was
and
like my dad watched it all the time as a kid, and that's why me and my sisters all became fans because he loved the show, and
it was really old. I don't know, like what I forget what I don't know like what you because I remember as a kid too, but I guess it was around even
90s. It was like 90s sci-fi channel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like it's old, the original, and then the new one they rebooted it for Netflix.
Okay.
Same creator, but like different. The main guy is different now, and I think they're actually doing another Kickstarter to do another one again. But yeah, this is Crow. So in between here, you can see there's like drainage hose.
Yeah. And he's like a robot for people who can't see. He's a robot for people who aren't watching and are just listening. It's a robot, and he has like the yellow googly, not googly eyes, but big eyes. And but you made this totally from scratch. This toy.
Totally from scratch. I mean, you can kind of tell. But
so it's kind of mixed media stuff you do a bit.
Yeah. So let's see. So his mouth is a bowling pin. His eye socket is a soap dish, a 70s soap dish, which I randomly found on like eBay or Etsy. His the back of his head is a catcher's a hockey mask. This is a hockey mask here. His eyeballs are ping pong balls. This is just some piece of whatever I found in Home Depot. His neck. And inside is some tubing, like whatever from Home Depot. This is the only reason I ever go to Home Depot is to buy stuff for costumes. Like I have never been to Home Depot to do actual home improvement.
And you build other toys besides this, or?
Yeah, or costumes.
Okay.
Yeah, or costumes for sure. His arms are lamps, like extendable lamps. So the middle, these the main part, the top part of his and bottom of his body is some sort of dish, like some old like planter's dish or something. Again, some retro thing I've never seen before, but I had to find this specifically on Etsy or eBay. And the same at the bottom, these are planters for like actual flowers, which I found on Etsy. So I had to like do a deep Google of what he was made out of. and just eBay, Google, Home Depot, everything, and he's made completely from scratch. So this is my most prized possession. People are like, "Oh, you could sell that," and I'm like, "No, why would I do that? Get away from me!" Absolutely. Why would I put all that work into that and then sell it? Times are not
it's kind of, I guess it's kind of your baby or whatever.
yeah,
So you don't,
and I'm
yeah.
like, all right, times are not that tough yet. Maybe if that happens, I'll let you guys know.
Oh, that's another character from.
Yeah.
It's another robot she's showing from Mystery Science Theater through that.
Yep. This is
Yeah, I remember
Tom's
that. I watched it as a kid. I remember in kindergarten we were watching a movie. I think it was I forget what it was, but then I kept commenting and making jokes during the movie, and the guy said, "Sean, this isn't Mystery Science Theater 3000."
Yup. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a show. It's on Netflix, I believe, like the old episodes. It's still worth a watch because what they do is the premise of the show is that this guy is like in space and he was captured. And he builds these robot friends to keep him company. And they torture him by making him watch like the worst horror films he's ever seen or sci-fi flicks you've ever seen in your entire life. Like the worst. And that's why they sit there and make commentary the whole time, because they are just like the most terrible movies you've ever seen in your life. So and they're really good at it. Like the puns they make are like, some are a little hard to get, especially for the younger generation, I feel, but it's absolutely hilarious.
And it was totally improvised too.
Yeah, they improvise, like they do all of it, the lines themselves. They're really good. But I had to buy a kit because a lot of his parts are like, you can't find them anywhere. There's just no way. Like, these are vacuum sealed, like old retro cars or something. This is the barrel of monkeys for his body. So I don't know what this was like from his arms are from some old doll that you can't find anymore. This is obviously a bubblegum machine. You can find, this is the only part.
Oh, you took apart a doll? Like you had a doll and you took it apart to get the arms?
No, I bought this kit on eBay actually.
Oh,
okay. It came with all of the parts.
To make him. To make that specific kit. Oh,
Correct.
so they have build your own toy kits. Is that what you?
They do for Tom Servo. I'm not sure if they did for Crow. Crow, I decided I did. I had to do all by myself because I think I remember I couldn't find it anywhere. But some guy on eBay actually makes kits that you can build Tom Servo yourself. You can either opt to get just the parts and paint it yourself, which is like cheaper, or you can have him do the whole thing for you and ship it, which is like double. I think the kit itself was like $200, and then the one to like all built, completely done was like $400 something. So I was like, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
I never knew that was a thing, that people had kits to build a toy. Yeah.
I built this like, oh my God, years ago. So I don't know if it's still on eBay, but this was like a really good find. I was like, oh God, yeah. And then I brought both of them to Comic-Con one year. That was great. Which I hear, are they having Comic-Con this year?
Well, like maybe like maximum capacity or something like that. I don't know.
Which is awesome, because Comic-Con now, last time I went with them, like, you couldn't move. So I would prefer a COVID version of Comic-Con.
But like spread out and everything. Well, maybe they have it over. They do a lot of things over Zoom now, but I don't know. It's not the same going to events on Zoom.
So this guy is which is the bull T-Rex from.
So now you have a dinosaur in your hand, just for people who are listening. You have a dinosaur.
Yes.
A blue and yeah.
I'm holding a dinosaur. It's the bull T-Rex from Jurassic Park 2. So
and this you bought.
Guy,
you didn't build the.
No. Oh God, no. That's the day I have that skill. I'll let you know. This guy comes with like a really great story. This is the one toy I have had over the years, many years, And when I was a kid, babysitting my younger sister, the kid that her friend, I was babysitting her and her friend, and he had this dinosaur, and I really wanted it. Like, I really wanted this freaking toy. And it was the age where obviously I'm a little bit older and I'm babysitting them, and it was right when, for my generation, Pogs were not as fun anymore, but for them, Pogs were still really cool. So he was like, I'll give you that dinosaur if you give me all your Pogs. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta pretend like this is a hard bargain. Like, I can't put it up too easy. So I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Not all my Pogs. He's like, yeah, and your slammers. Oh man, the slammers too. And
so the Pogs and the Slammers, that's
that was the trade.
It was.
And I was like,
what are
go
those?
ahead.
What are those? The Pogs and the Slam? I missed that part. What are those Pogs and Slammers? Like, what are those?
So that was the deal. If I wanted his T-Rex, I had to give him all of my Pogs and Slammers.
Pogs is those were other dinosaurs, or what were?
No. Oh, I didn't know what Pogs were. It was the dumbest game in the 90s. It was like those little circle, like cardboard little circles. And they had you can get Pogs of literally anything. And it was an actual game. Like, you had them I can't even remember how it went. It was, you had them stack them upside down, and you would hit them with the slammer, and whichever ones landed right side up, you would take. So you kind of gambling off your Pogs to the other opponent.
So it had Pogs, and it had different themes on the Pog, like pictures on the Pog, or
yeah, you could because I guess that was the collector part of it, was they had Smurf Pogs, or they had Alf Pogs.
And then you hit them with the thing, and then it flips over. I never heard of it. So it's kind of like a whack-a-mole kind of thing?
Oh, God, how do you even explain Pogs? It was the most quick-lived game, I feel, of the 90s. Because even in the 90s, you had Pokemon cards, and that was a game, but Pokemon never ended. Pogs was now a joke. But it was a huge thing. People collected the hell out of Pogs. There was a Pog booth in the mall. And then, well, that didn't last. But, so I did. I gave him all my Pogs. I said, all right, you know what? I'll take you up on that deal. And he's like, yes! So he got, I had tons of them. I had so many Pogs. All the Slammers. I gave him all. I really don't care. And I got this dinosaur, and I still know him to this day. And I'm like, yo, how are those Pogs doing? Dinosaur is doing great. Give me that dinosaur back. Never. Where are my Pogs then? But still roars. It's you can put, for those who don't say, you can actually put things in his mouth, and it comes out his stomach, so he can eat them. And
But then he shits them out through his stomach, is it?
Yeah, through his stomach. Shuts them out through his stomach. Normal.
I mean, I actually never studied how T-Rex's shit. Was that, maybe it just came out through this stuff? I don't know.
And also, I mean, this was before we knew dinosaurs had feathers. So, maybe they should have their stomachs. Who knows? But yeah, this one's my most prized possession. I feel like people are like, oh, if your house caught on fire, what would you grab? I'm like, my dinosaur.
Even more so than the ones you built, because I would think the ones you built kind of had a.
It's tough. It's tough because I have to save my cats. The living ones.
Yeah.
Be like, all right. I guess, maybe Tom Servo would be not Tom Servo, Crow would be a little bit more important because he was handmade. They do have these on eBay. I've checked. And the ones in the box are a stupid amount of money.
Oh, because it's just from back in the day. Is that why it's so much?
Yeah, because, well, I feel like actually after Jurassic World came out, the 90s Jurassic Park toys just skyrocketed in how much they're worth. And people like the Jurassic Park franchise just got really big again. People started their collecting again. So I've been collecting a lot more over the years. I actually, I remember one time I went on Craigslist, some guy was like selling Jurassic Park toys. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm meeting you in a public space. So we met in Grand Central Terminal and we did like this shady deal where I passed him some cash and he passed me a bag of dinosaurs. And some woman like walked by and she was like, what the fuck? Like, mind your business, lady. Just trying to buy some street dinosaurs.
Maybe they'll do like a toy dinosaur prohibition, and then there'll be a whole like black market for toy dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean, should be.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what else. Oh, another one of my prized possessions is my Daft Punk helmet.
Oh, nice. They recently broke up or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even talk about it. I actually started crying. I'm like, look, I don't cry about anything. I feel like where I'm supposed to cry, I'm like, oh. But when Daft Punk breaks up, I'm like bawling in bed. Yeah, like there was like some sad puppy movie. Everyone was like, it was the saddest thing I've ever seen. I was like, no, it wasn't. But when Daft Punk breaks up. Yeah, a friend actually got me this because I had some like really bogus like self ones I made from a long time ago, and I let him borrow it and he broke it. So he actually got me a nice one, a better one. So I was like, whatever, I don't really care. But yeah, highly devastated. I have been a fan of them since I was in high school, 1997, when they came out. They're the ones who introduced me to like electronic music. I was always like that 90s rock kid, listening to like Eve 6 and Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, but I've been getting into electronic more recently, like like the Essentials. Like I guess like Apex Twin is one of the.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so when I remember that song "Around the World" came out on MTV, and I was like, "What is this music? I've never heard this music." And since then, I'm like a huge like electronic music fan, and they're the ones that pioneered it. But this is like a treasured piece of mine. Is this? So people that don't know, it's Tom. I guess the silver one. The other one is Guy Manuel, is the gold one. I don't have that one, but Thomas Bangalter is the one I have. So that's the good one. I can't even show you the amount of plush I have. That's ridiculous. That's just like an insane amount of stuffed animals I have. Let's see, what's another good prized one? I don't know. So here's the helmet now this is for Halloween. So this came with, this is
That's a Halo helmet you show, yeah.
Yes, this is Master Chief helmet that I bought. Got a cool little light up function on the side. So this is for this coming Halloween. I was supposed to wear this last Halloween, which has to be like the world's biggest disappointment. Halloween was on a full moon and a Saturday, and it was COVID, and it got canceled. Like, on what Earth? What planet? So Halloween better happen this year, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I look forward to Halloween over my birthday. I don't know. Like, Halloween's like an Olympic sport to me. I take it extremely seriously.
Oh, Halloween's near your birthday, or?
Oh, I take it more seriously than my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't really care about my birthday. Halloween, I'm like, oh my God, Halloween is coming. When it's like July, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna wear?
Well, hopefully by fall, I think because I think even in June things are going to be a little more open up. So we'll see.
They should be.
Yeah.
I know they just said today you can wear your mask outside. You don't have to wear a mask outside
if you're fully vaccinated.
Yeah. Vaccinated or not, you don't have to wear a mask outside.
Yeah, that's good, because I was getting tired of walking around with like the mask, like walking around outside. Yeah.
And thank God, because summer's coming, and the summers are getting hotter and hotter. Thank you, global warming. Hotter and hotter and hotter. So as a woman, I'm trying to wear makeup, and this hot mask on my face, makeup everywhere. I was like, I can't do another summer like this. Masks are pretty clutch in the winter, but in summer they're awful. But now, yeah, they basically once you get in like close quarters or any building, or it's still the same with like businesses, you have to wear your mask. But if you're just walking down the street, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. Although I have a really cool Sonic one I just bought, so. There's another cool set I bought. I'm actually not the biggest fan of Funko Pop toys. I find them to be just a little generic.
Funko Pop.
There's
maybe explain for the listener. Yeah.
Oh, if they don't know what Funko Pop is, oh god, it's like they're vinyl figurines. Funko Pop does vinyl figurines basically of any pop culture thing you can think of. And with that said, it's like a huge mass market for it. So it's not very, there are some collector's items that certain stores release like exclusively, but for the most part, it's just like, there's nothing exclusive about it really, because there's nothing unique about it. There's just so many of them out there. That's why I'm not a big collector of these. But for the ones that are like things I'm really a big fan of, I'm like, okay, I have to buy it, which is Starship Troopers.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone has watched Starship Troopers, or are you a fan of this movie?
Starship Troopers. I saw it a long time ago. But,
yes, this is like hands down one of my favorite movies of all time, and it actually still. I can't remember what year this came out, but if you watch it now, the graphics are still like pretty freaking good. And I could watch this movie like 50,000 times in a row and not get tired of it. Like the bugs are in it are extremely awesome, like so amazing. So they just did Funko just released a line of Starship Trooper ones that I just had to buy all 3 of. But like I said, I only buy very select Funko Pop toys, like Rick and Morty ones. I have a Melina one from Mortal Kombat. Have to have, because she's my girl.
Is that kind of like what they used to do? Like bob? Do they do bobbleheads?
No, bobbleheads actually. But I feel like I know what you're talking about. There was a company that did kind of like bobbleheads of everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's them though. Not a clue. But also, and then which is strange that I don't collect more of this, because I'm a huge Simpsons fan. Now, I'll be clear, it is Simpsons seasons 3 through 9. Because after season 9, some of season 10, and if anyone that is listening to this knows what episode I'm talking about, I think it ended at Pinchy, which was the lobster that Homer fell in love with. But after that, The Simpsons just became pure garbage. It wasn't funny at all.
That's a long time for a show to stay good. 9 seasons. Usually it's like 5 seasons, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked it lasted this long, but I guess there was still an audience out there that kept watching it. But
and South Park has been about 20 years, like so. Yeah, longer than that. Yeah.
I actually didn't know people still watch South Park. Like,
I haven't watched it in a while.
South Park. So somebody recently brought that up to me, like, "Oh, I love South Park." I'm like, "That's still on?" Like, I didn't even know that was still on TV. What do I know? I don't have cable. I watch everything I have every single like app. I don't have cable, so I don't know what's new or what's on television anymore. But yeah, I'm shocked I don't have more Simpsons toys, because I'm such a Simpsons fan. But I think I like 90s Simpsons toys better than buying anything new.
Why did they look? Did they change the look of the Simpsons? Or?
They did. You can tell, in any cartoon, like over the years, the artwork kind of changes, especially from the beginning. Like any cartoon, like the first 2 seasons, you're like, which is new to you, so it looks fine. But then once they clean it up and you go back, you're like, oh God, this looks terrible. And well, seasons 1 and 2 of The Simpsons didn't quite get the humor yet. It was like more family oriented. And then season 3, I think it started to get a little bit more raunchy, or like the humor started becoming a little bit more goofy and stupid. And then after season 10, Homer just got like annoying more than anything.
Wait, he wasn't even funny anymore with the.
No, it wasn't funny anymore. Like, I love stupid humor like Dumb and Dumber and Billy Madison, like that.
Did you see there was a movie I saw recently that kind of had that Dumb and Dumber feel, only it was like mixed with like Borat, because it was it was with Eric Andre. Bad Trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he took a lot of stuff from Dumb and Dumber, like where they're going across the country to find the girl and stuff like. But they did it like in real in person, like how he does pranks, Eric Andre.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay. I know. Someone's actually been telling me recently I need to watch him, but I have not watched any Eric Andre yet. But yeah, that's when it was good in the 90s, and then just not good anymore. But still, there's me and my sisters. There's like not a day that goes by that we don't quote The Simpsons. It's in our blood. I feel like I was raised by 2 shows, or maybe I should say 3, which is all my dad's doing. The Simpsons, Mystery Science Theater, and Ren and Stimpy. My dad like forced us to watch these shows. It wasn't even our choice.
Yeah, Mystery. I remember Ren and Stimpy too. I remember that got like really dark. I don't remember like much that happened though and stuff, but like I remember it got dark.
Oh
yeah, you're so like he called them stupid, or like he said, "You're so stupid, Stimpy." He was yelling at Stimpy all the time. Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And it's like stuff that the things you remember from a kid are not the same things you see when you watch the show as an adult. And then I'm watching it now, and I'm like, my dad is a twisted. He made me watch. Wait, let's watch this. This shit's messed up. It's good. Oh, really good. Like, yeah, so I think like that's how I feel like I have like the humor I have today, the way, the things I find funny today is because like those 3 shows is what I just watched constantly. I wasn't allowed to watch Beavis and Butthead.
Oh yeah, I remember I watched Beavis and Butthead as a kid, and there was like some joke. It's like, "Have you ever kissed a girl down there?" or something like that. And then my mom heard it on the TV, and she ran and turned it off. She's like, "That is not appropriate for children."
Yeah, which is funny. Like my dad is the one who encouraged those 3 shows, but like Beavis and Butthead, he's like, "Turn that crap off. This is disgusting." I'm like, "What is the difference?" I don't understand. But I don't know. We would like wait for our parents to go to bed and go downstairs and like sneak that big boob tube on, turn that knob and put Beavis and Butthead on. And we're like, oh God, Emily, are you be the watch out? Look, cause like, because we were not allowed to watch that show. But
I remember it was for me, it was South Park was like the thing you'd sneak to watch. And then, like, I remember there was then there was this one kid I knew. He was like, "I saw every episode of South Park," and people were like gathering around him, and he was like telling them about every South Park episode. And then my dad said, "Oh, you gotta stop talking about South Park. Kids are gonna think we're shit parents for letting you watch that."
God, what was I? I think I was in like middle school when South Park came out.
Okay, I think elementary in 1998. I was in like 3rd grade. So 1997.
South Park start. I'm
1997.
1997. Woof. Yeah. God Almighty, where does the time go? I'm like, my birthday is in May, and I'm going to be.
Oh, I'm May too. May 3rd.
Oh, you're May 3rd.
Yeah.
Nice, Taurus kids. Okay. I'm about to be 36, and I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, there's like, these memes are coming out with like this younger generation didn't know what squirts were, or they're like Pearl Jam and all those bands are now on the classic rock station. It's scary. I don't like that. And apparently anything that's 20 or 25 years old becomes classic, I think.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that goes into classic rock because I still think of classic rock like Led Zeppelin or like Jimi
Correct.
Hendrix and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. The Doors, all that stuff. Like
yeah. But
that's
now like Nirvana, I guess is gonna be
yeah.
classic rock.
No,
Yeah,
all of those '90s rock bands, Pearl Jam,
yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, they are all classic rock bands.
And they're all on what like Q 104.3. Well, that's a New Jersey station, but Q 104.3.
Yeah, what is there's one in New York too, a big classic rock station. Because I remember even it was a few years ago, I was listening to that radio station, and Pearl Jam came on, and I was like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. God. And like even the funny thing is like even with like cars these days, I'm like I'm not used to automatic doors and hatches and stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But this is, I guess, I'm holding on to my youth with all of these toys because I'm not ready to grow up. I just don't want to do it. Although I'm paying all my bills, I guess I am grown up, but whatever.
Well, it's always good to hang on to like some part of your childhood or some part of your
Yeah,
younger self. Yeah, and
yeah,
that's even especially like with the creative kind of thing that kind of comes from the inner child. Art and stuff like that. So, and even
yeah,
when you're
yeah.
doing
I
what
mean,
you're
like,
yeah, even when you're
I
doing
know,
with the
like,
toys, I guess it's kind of an art in a way because you're putting them together.
yeah.
I wanted to get it more into that, like a bit like toy building, like how you got into that and how you found out about that, like because that's something new.
Oh, let's see. Well, the toy building thing was I because I was always such a huge fan of Mystery Science Theater, and I really wanted those um figures, and not like the little ones or anything. I wanted like a full size one. So since I've always worked on a lot of my costumes, a lot of my costumes always involved some sort of creative element. I was like, oh, maybe I'm sure I can build these. I don't know. It's just also fun to say that part of you created something instead of just buying everything store bought. So,
Yeah,
I love that part of it, and saying that it's truly one of a kind. So my crow, you're not going to find anywhere because I built this myself. So I guess
have you met other people that do that too? Is that a hobby people do, building different figures?
I've not that anyone I know personally. I just know, you just see those people online that also do it too, but I don't it's just weird actually because like in my group of friends and stuff, nobody I have like my one best friend is very creative, but she's more like fine arts and stuff. But nobody does the toy or Halloween costumes the way I do. Nobody puts in that amount of money or effort that I do, but it is fun because every year, I guess one year I got so into Halloween and it actually became a thing where all my friends are like, what's Danette gonna be for Halloween next year? Can't wait to see your costume. Because they know I give it like 2000%. And I mean, I guess that's like a thrill for me too. It's like, oh, people really are into it. And, kind of like, pat on the back because that's kind of cool, instead of just gives you something you have your regular job that you do. And of course, that's something to be proud of, the work you put into that. But it's not as rewarding as like these other creative projects is that to make these type of things. But I think only Crow and Tom Servo were like the big ones I made. I tried once with the Daft Punk helmet, but that was okay. It wasn't very good. But mostly my creativity goes into just drawing or my Halloween costumes.
And drawing.
I did really awesome Edward Scissorhands, like the Scissorhands. Like
Drawing or costume.
For the costume, I made the Scissorhands all by myself, and they're made out of like pretty much paper mache, but they looked like movie ready. They were so good. Like that's one of my biggest accomplishments with those. And Pennywise, I was Pennywise for one year. I made a child cry. That was like a big accomplishment for myself.
I was gonna ask if you scared anybody with the you put on like a clown nose and all the.
Oh, I was like nobody. knew if I was male, female, whatever. They
The
didn't.
the
They
original
didn't.
Pennywise, right?
Oh no, actually, the new one. The new
the
one.
new one. Oh, you like him better than Tim Curry?
I
I didn't
do
see the new
actually.
one.
I like him better because I find him to be way more scary than the original Pennywise. Looks pretty much more like a standard clown at your party.
And this one it was more like demonic look. But I knew it was a lot of like
Yeah,
CGI. CGI. That was the only thing I didn't like. Didn't draw me too much.
yeah. It was definitely a new age version of it, but I was Pennywise one year and like just people just didn't know who they were talking to. I went to work like that as well, which was great. And people just like they didn't know it was me. And then I went out afterwards and this one child just was like running away, like screaming, crying, and I was so proud of myself. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other costume I've done that was really good. But of course, like I'm on the spot now. I have no idea. I made a really good Bart Simpson one year.
Was it like a mask or you like colored yourself?
Actually,
yellow?
no. It was one of those costumes that was like, if you saw me, you would have no idea who I was. But if you knew the episode, you would have been like blown away. So there is an episode, because I had like the blue t-shirt and I had like the outfit on, the blue shoes on, and then it was an episode where Bart was he burnt down the school as a butterfly, and he carried around like this. He was like flying around with this gas tank and like these wings, and I made the gas can just like in the cartoon and the wing. So it was like one of those things that was just spot on. But if you didn't know the episode, you wouldn't have gotten it. But because I've had people like that one person that come to you and be like, holy shit, I know what you are. And you're like, yes, all I wanted was that one person.
So have you ever thought of like doing that, like finding a professional way to do that, like making toys or making costumes? And
I feel like the profession I'm in right now is close enough for me because I don't know, like I like the creative work that I do, but I also don't like being forced to do it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, creativity has to come to me when it comes to me. And when I'm in a creative mode, I'll go, but then I will fall out of being creative. And there is nothing worse than having to do art or think of something when your mind is not there. So for my job, I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just do the production side of it and the sourcing. I get to work with the art team, but I don't have to do any of that work.
Well, unless you wanted to like work for yourself or like make your own site where you like sell.
Yeah, and I've never, to me, I'm like, ugh, I work a lot. Maybe it'll change after COVID. Like mine is a completely different mindset being stuck, in this apartment for a year. I'm very unmotivated right now. So maybe things will change after that. But yeah, because people they tell me all the time, like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. And I'm like, oh God, but what if I work all week, I work a lot, I work really hard. So I'm like, I don't want to have to work after work. Hey, everyone, I am very lazy.
And I guess it's harder when you're not on the. But I guess it's harder. Like
people are all about the grind. Yeah, and like working hard. I'm working on the grind, make that money. I'm like, y'all go ahead and grind. I don't feel like it. Like I am not on this earth 24/7. I want to sit down and watch cartoons. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. So you just say
I more find things. What? Go ahead.
You would just say no to Prince CEA in his new videos selling like, oh, you gotta use all your time productively.
Oh, no, thank you. What the heck? What am I working for? So I can just keep working? Like, No thanks. Not about that life.
Yeah.
especially
I
when you
guess
get older.
if
I'm
it's
like
something you people
tired.
say, but I guess if it's something you enjoy, then it's not really work. But then, like you said, you don't want to be forced
Yeah,
to. Yeah.
right, exactly. And well, then that's what's good for me is like I have this job and I really love my job, but I do have the time when I want to do be creative. I can be, and that's good enough for me. Like the art world is very, like it's very competitive. Like, and there are some brilliant artists out there. I'm not there, so what the hell? I'm not gonna sit there and compete with like these top tier people when I'm down here and I already have a job that pays the bills. So that's why, yeah, there's like a thing like chasing it for money, or you just do it as a hobby. And I'm super happy with it as a hobby. It's good enough for me.
So, any final thoughts, or maybe anything we didn't cover?
Oh God, I have no idea. I feel like I haven't talked to anyone in a long time.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I guess it's harder to because you're not on the move a lot, so it's harder to stay motivated. You work from home, or
Yeah, I do. I work from home, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Like, I'm very fortunate to have had a job this whole time, and my company has actually increased sales since um, COVID. Everyone wants a stuffed animal. What can I say? But when you're working from home is not the same. My bed is right there. Here's my desk. There's not a lot of movement, so your motivation is super low. I still have to work those hours, and I don't know, it's like very mentally draining. So you're already trying to keep up with how different everything is, how unsocial you are. So you're already just trying to keep your brain in check with like, I can do this. So when I feel like when you're continuously moving, the motivation came with that. They're like, oh yeah, I'll do this too. But when you're stuck inside for a whole year, I'm like, I don't want to do this.
yeah. Yeah, I got offered like a work from home thing, but I decided I went with this other job where I'm going into to like an office instead. So because I kind of
Yeah.
want like I prefer having like a routine and all that kind
Yeah,
of.
exactly. And then when you work in the office, like you work from those hours. Let's say you work 9 to 5. You go in, you get your job done from 9 to 5, and then you leave. When you work from home, there's no real barrier of when to stop working. And then you get unmotivated at home because your bed's right there. Cats won't stop yelling at you. So you end up working till like 10 p.m. at night because you don't know when to cut yourself off. It's been really tough, I would say, but I actually should be going back into the office in a few weeks now that I'm fully vaccinated.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well,
I hope
that'll
so.
be good.
Yeah.
That'll be like a good change, I guess, right?
Oh my God. Like, yeah. Like it's going to take a while to get used to. I can tell you that because my hours are 10 to 6 and I get up at like 9:30. So now I'm going to have to get up at like 8, get ready, get on the subway, go to work. Like I have to do that whole thing again. But whatever, I'll take it. I can't do this anymore.
All
Oh
right. Well,
man.
thank you for coming on and
Yeah,
talking about your
thank you for
toys and all
having
this other.
me.
Yeah. And I guess is there anything you'd like people to keep updated with, or?
Um, I don't know. I mean, my only thing right now is like I have my where am I? I have my toy page that I would like to get like moving a little bit more, which is oh my God, Danette's toy collection. I don't even know. um, which if anyone can spell that, Danette is how you spell Danette. Danette's toy collection. But other than that, like I'm just trying to get through this life, man, right now. Things are weird. So I hope everyone else is doing well, is hanging in there. That's
Yep.
about it.
It sounds good. Yeah. All right, so that about does it for this episode of BSing with Sean K. You can follow me on Spotify, iTunes, BS apostrophe ing with SEANK. on all of that, Spotify, iTunes, and you can also like social media. Just look that up. BS apostrophe ing with SEANK, and then you'll find it all. YouTube and everything too. And that's about it for this episode. I'll catch you on the next one.
BSing with.
Who?
BSing